Ladies and gentlemen, this is game number 2 between RSG Philippines and RSG Singapore. In case you missed it, RSG Philippines has taken game number 1. This is RSGSG's game to prove, and also they need this to secure a spot, at least have a fighting chance to be able to proceed with the tournament.
Yep, make sure you guys shout out your support for your teams here, because as you know, if RSGSG wins this game, they go on to the playoffs. If they lose, see you soon. We'll be heading on into the playoffs. So depending on this, we have 2 teams' lives on the line. RSGPH definitely respecting the heavy spin from Bray quite a lot. 4 sprints on their side.
Wow, this is, yeah, 4 sprints on his side. I wasn't actually expecting that. So I don't know if that will help them get out of the team fights. Hopefully so. Eman actually in the last phase of the ticks and bans went for the Claude. What do you think of this pick?
Claude is certainly an interesting hero because so far I think he's very hit or miss. And unlike the old days where Claude getting farm basically guaranteed you winning the game, nowadays he doesn't actually do that much damage even after getting all of his items. So this is going to be a test of skill for Eman to see if he can really execute around his team for those intense blazing duets.
Bray here getting a little aggressive in jungle, trying to zone out the members of RSGPH. Unfortunately, of course, not being able to close out any kills yet, but that's going to create some space for them. And with the objective coming up in the top side in just under 11 seconds now, it's probably going to be in their advantage to do so.
I think we didn't manage to highlight this, but this is going to be a Julian jungle as well. Demon Kite going to be playing on the new hero here. Very interested to see how he will build. So far, we've been seeing most people go for full damage on the Julian simply because of how much burst it outputs, but the turtle is now being contested.
Yeah, Bray in some trouble here, trying to get knocked up and will get the heavy spin, but the turtle does go the way of RSG Philippines instead. Just as you mentioned, the Julian, it does go his way, but I'm not sure if he wants to build full damage because it's a bit squishy, I think, so maybe a tank build would make some sense.
Yeah, but in this game, he does have an advantage Julian usually would not have, and that is the Heart Guard. Even if he does go for full damage, he does have a pretty solid shield coming out from Light, and his timing is on point. And we know that this is a hero Light does play, so I think they can definitely hedge their bets on that, unless they really want Light to go onto Eman instead.
Right now, RSGSG, they're not playing super aggressive at this moment, but it's pretty about time, you know, they're all level 4 and 5 now, hitting their spikes and ultimates. It should be time for them to set up a few fights here. Do you think we're gonna start seeing that?
I think we're definitely going to see it from RSGSG because this is a pretty important spike for them, especially around Bray and Diablo. These 2 heroes will really start hurting once they hit that level 4. The problem here is, especially for Diablo, since he's going to be playing against a Masha in lane, he's never really going to be able to zone Nats out, and that means that he isn't able to roam around to help his team.
Right now, Diablo in some trouble, getting 2v1 here by Nas as well as Demon Kite, trying to run away now, but will not be able to make it alive. It is first blood drawn by Demon Kite. RSGSG, though, not letting up. They're putting up the same aggression down bottom, but 505, he's all alone, burning that circling eagle, not managing to get anything, but instead a death and make that 2. Bray goes down as well. Unfortunately, RSGSG didn't manage to pull that off. I think they didn't pull the trigger quick enough. The rest of RSG Philippines rotated down and unfortunately closed off that fight.
That was a perfect battle mirror image from Eman there, not only being able to escape from the clutches of RSGSG, but timing it so that he would pull 505 back into his team once he used that circling eagle, enabling the kill on both the Matilda and the Akai. Another turtle going the side of RSGPH.
Definitely having that lead now. They're about almost 2k ahead of RSGSG. It's still 0 kills on their side here. So even though, yes, they pick, you know, potentially heroes that could dominate their lanes like Miku Miku Mi, somehow it hasn't been working out for them.
that's because right now Baby Cakes and Diablo basically cannot leave lane. Yes, even if Miku Miku Mi is able to gain control over the mid lane, it doesn't really mean too much if the rest of the team isn't there to back them up. And we know that Bray is already a little bit behind, one level behind Demon Kite because he got picked off earlier protecting his support. Now in trouble again.
Well, the enhanced chase onto Bray. Doesn't look like they're going for the kill, but Bray actually was counter jungling there a little bit. So trying to at least farm their way to catch up in terms of the gold here. But Eman going to be able to close that down with one turret on the bottom side.
We can see that RSGPH is putting a lot of focus onto Eman's lane. After all, we know this man can really carry the game on these marksmen once he gets the farm to do so. So why wouldn't they? We can see up here Diablo really cannot leave his lane because of Nats. Eman being targeted with a heavy spin. Hardguard still keeping him alive. Blazing Duet still keeping him up. He gets a kill on 505 in return.
Insane! Heartguard really clutched there to be able to save his life, and the damage was enough. Unfortunately, RSG wasn't able to get that. But that was just, you know, impeccable timing.
I'm just really impressed. Yes, Heartguard normally is a very strong ability, but I thought that it wouldn't be enough since he was pinned down by the heavy spin. There were so many members of RSG around him. Being able to survive that and get a kill in return, not to mention the fact that Diablo was picked off by Demon Kite again in the top lane. The net worth lead now already 3K for RSGPH. Things not looking too swell for RSG Singapore.
Yep, it's not. And now with the next turtle spawning, RSG Philippines definitely has the upper hand here. Gonna get it completely for free, and there's nothing that RSG Singapore can do about it.
This is a little bit of the problem with the draft from RSG. Yes, they have a strong team fight around the heavy spin as well as Diablo on his signature pick, but not enough peel for the backline, making it difficult for Baby Cakes to kind of walk forward and dish out his damage.
Yeah, it's looking really tough for them at this point. I mean, how does RSG need to start thinking about taking fights from here?
I think they do need to kind of group up now. They have to play around the heavy spin cooldown to try and pick something up. RSGPH, they're already comfortable enough to invade into their jungle with Eman himself. He knows he has a free ticket out and is able to time it well.
Oh, the chase coming from onto 505 manages to get him down. Miku Mi pops the black shoes, will be able to reset his HP there, and Diablo comes in with the flank, but the Heartguard saves Eman once again, and they only managed to take off one kill in the name of 505 so far.
Yep, and the battle mirror image gets him out yet again. Just free engages by RSGPH, making it very difficult for RSG Singapore to put up a fight at all. They're going to be able to steal the purple buff away as well. Right now, all RSG Philippines is doing is using their additional bulk thanks to Nats on this Masha to use up cooldowns and get pickoffs.
Oh, they know that the RSG is all out of cooldowns and pulled the trigger onto Bray as well as Diablo. Nothing they could do about that to escape or mitigate any of the damage.
This is looking to be worse and worse for RSG. They're already now behind by 5K. Baby Cakes actually dashing forward for that kill. He's now out of position.
I feel like that looked like entirely like a suicide mission. Like, I'm just gonna get this turret here. I know I'm gonna die for it, but at least, you know, I get an objective.
Yeah, I mean, that is a small win for RSG, but you have to recall that is their gold laner. You don't really want Baby Cakes to be forced in a position where he has to trade his life for a tier 1 tower. But I do feel like that's exactly what the situation is right now. There's no solid engagement from RSG, and RSG Philippines are just finding really good angles to take fights away from them.
And they're also really mindful of their cooldowns as well. You know, especially on Eman with the Blazing Duet. Really game-changing here is the real manipulation from Aqua. Manages to take down Baby Cakes. Miku Mi with the clutch black shoes. Saves his life for the moment, but 505's in trouble. Will not be able to get out alive.
You can see Nat's already becoming quite a problem for RSG. This is just how he usually plays, just jumping into the back line. The Masha pick really helping out his usual playstyle here. The 3 health bars knowing that RSG simply doesn't have enough damage to take him out. He's just engaging. Miku will get taken out here. Heavy spin gonna be pushing Nats backward. They finally get the revenge kill onto Masha, but they lose Miku as well.
Well, definitely a good trade. I mean, Nas or Miku will probably take that any day. And right now, RSG Philippines also have the Lord coming down the bottom side, so they can continue to push their lead here.
Yep, and that's what they're doing. Eman jumping in, blazing duet once again. He might get two here, loses his life, but that's a double kill going over to him. That's a shutdown. Aqua picking up a double kill for himself. Diablo and Bray. Now the only survivor is Miku coming back up to join them, but the Lord has been taken out. So RSG will survive.
This is starting to look really brutal, and I think our fear of RSG Singapore's draft is playing out exactly now. It's a little bit too squishy, save for, you know, Bray on the Akai. There's really not much front line that they can have, and right now there's just too much damage from the side of RSG Philippines as well as defenses.
Yeah, RSG just doesn't have enough solutions right now. They need a perfect engagement if they want to be able to take this game back. We can see in terms of gold, 3 members of RSGPH are ahead of Baby Cakes. And Demon Kite and Eman looking to be quite ahead as well. That 7k net worth lead becoming quite an obstacle that I don't know if RSG will be able to overcome.
I mean, it's pretty difficult. In the later game, yes, maybe you do have Baby Cakes and Me to put out some of that damage, but even so, looking at, you know, Demon Kite, looking at Eman as well as Aqua, they're going to be able to match that.
Yep, and match that they will. RSGPH now continuing to control the map. You can see that the way that they play isn't overly aggressive. Even though they know that they are comfortably in the driver's seat, they're gonna use the waves and their map control to catch people off guard.
Bray tries to go for the heavy spin, but they're going to be able to mitigate that entirely. It's just put to waste now, and one ultimate use. Diablo tries to get the flank onto Demon Kite here, not going to be enough. And now the real world manipulation comes down onto Baby Cakes, burns the flicker. He manages to get out. Eman using the blazing duet. No kill so far, except for 505. But what was he doing? Wrong part of town to be at.
Eman is just playing with RSG psychologically now. He purposefully stayed in the blazing duet for way longer than you normally would expect him to try and convince 505 that, hey, I don't have my battle mirror image, forcing the circling eagle and pulling the Matilda out of position for a free kill, allowing them to transfer this lead over to taking the Lord.
Yep, another free objective their way, and this is, well, the Luminous Lord. So it's definitely going to put a huge dent onto RSG's defenses here. It's going to be tough for them to, you know, fend off this one.
It really is. If we look at the items right now, it's not as if RSG are building badly, but you can see just how defensive they have to go to deal with damage coming out of RSGPH. We can see that Demon Kite actually electing to go for an interesting build here with the glowing wand and concentrated energy.
Huge chunk of the mid inhibitor has been taken out by the Lord here. Once again, Bray going in with the heavy spin, but misses the mark completely. Diablo now coming through the back onto Emma, but the hard guard comes through, and he doesn't manage to take it. Instead, sacrifices his life, and now Aqua again coming out with a huge ultimate, trying to get that down, forces the Black Shoes out. They stay alive, but only for now. Bray, can he make it? Will be able to recharge some HP at the fountain, but right now they are just fighting on the back leg. 505 taken out, burst damage onto Bray.